Welcome to Portraits of Hope, and today you want to understand the law, Sharia. Not because you will break it, but that it can serve you in so many ways. Today we have Amondi. Is that Amondi Oyugi? Amondi Oyugi, a lawyer, a women's rights champion, a Grant Award-winning lady, and a lawyer by profession, who today is going to give us her story and her journey. And I can't wait for us to dive deep. Tell us about yourself.
Yes, my name is Amondi Oyugi. I am a lawyer. I'm a trained lawyer and also political science. Yes, I do run a law firm at Westlands known as Amondi Oyugi Advocates, and I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And,
yeah. What, like among those hats, because you're wearing many hats, what do you identify as? Like when people are like, "Oh, Amondi Oyugi," who would they say? An entrepreneur or lawyer?
Both go at par.
Both go at
exactly. Because I'm in the business of law.
You're in the business of law.
Yeah.
Have you always been an entrepreneur?
I didn't start off as an entrepreneur, but I left employment and joined entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Like, what was that like for you? What informed your decision to leave work to get into entrepreneurship?
The impact, because I do impact-driven entrepreneurship. I felt like it was more impactful when you have the control, as compared to an employment where it's more structured.
So it wasn't that you could not obey your bosses.
Not really.
That was not the reason.
Not really, because like you wanted more than I wanted more than that, to be more impactful than that. And the best way was to go the social impact entrepreneurship way.
You're so right, and I think it's the same drive for many entrepreneurs. Something just nudges you. You want to do bigger, and sometimes you feel like the confines of asking, "Oh, can I do are too much?" How has that experience been for you though?
It's been a roller coaster, but here we are.
How many years now?
This is now 5 years. 5 years in entrepreneurship. It's been rewarding. It's been having its challenges, and I can say here we are, and we are going stronger. We're not looking back. So far, so good.
What has been the highlight of this journey?
I'll say recognitions, when someone say thank you, both in the small and the big ways. And then also when someone just say thank you, you helped me, you changed my life, and that's all. Because like I said, when it's in the business of it's more impact. So when you impact someone's life, you change someone's life, you give someone hope. Now that's it.
That's the main part it gives you. Okay, so now let's dive deep into your business, which is the law and Amondi Advocates. Tell us about it. Tell us more about it and how you started it.
So Amondi Oyugi Advocate, it's a law firm, and like a typical law firm in Kenya, like you have to qualify. It's like a professional. You have to qualify, be the professional in that field, and then you do the practicing certificates. You the structure. You register the law firm. You do the legal bits of it, of registration and all that, and then now you can take in clients. And because I said that's where the social impact comes in. You take clients with I'll call them social challenges, and now you can represent them in court, and of course they pay you. But then the impact supersedes everything.
So what are for example, what would qualify for social challenges?
No, let me focus on family law, for example. Like when someone dies, which is the natural process of life, then this person owns properties, this person has children, this person, but she is dead now. How do you move? Or he or she is dead. How do you move from there? There's the element of succession, and sometimes these things are not neat. That's why we say that the social challenges, the transition is not neat. When someone, especially when they say like mtimku kianguka or something like that, when these challenges, when the transition is not smooth, now you have to run to court, because properties must move from this person's name into the beneficiary's name or something like that. That's one example. Other example is even divorce. Happy ever after is perfect, but then sometimes not for everyone. Sometimes it doesn't come true for everyone. So you may get those challenges of this transition is not smooth. So you may have to invite you will have to invite the law, especially if you are legally married. So those are the social impact parts that we do, to make sure that this challenge is not as big, or is not aggravated, or it's not as hurting, or to just reduce the impact
on either side. So it's to ensure that the process is just and fair, depending on who is aggravated.
Exactly.
So in such cases, are there many people who report such issues, or what is the magnitude of this?
It's like succession, for example, let me put it this way: succession, for every person who dies, and if this person was an adult, and if this person owned properties, then definitely it has to go through the succession process. Because if he owned properties in his name, but is now deceased, then it means those properties must move from his name to someone, either living or to a company, or it must be transferred. So definitely there has to be that process, and it's only done in court. Meaning,
so for everyone, actually. It's not only when there's an issue, but for everyone.
For everyone. Okay. Others are smooth. Others even leave wills. So if you leave a will, it will be relatively smoother than if there's no will left. And it's for just, let's say, for everyone who there are as many cases as the many people who die in a country. That's only on succession part. Also, you come to the family, to the divorce part. There's many cases as the relationships that break up, especially when it was in a marriage, when it was a marriage, it was formalized.
Is it
so the number is high?
Is it a current, at the moment, at the divorces rate as high, or people just separate cordially?
I will say they're high if you compare it to maybe the last 2-3 years, because now we are in June, right? And already the divorce number, if you file a case now, because a case, the filing system is like every year you start a fresh number, but as now, if I'm to file a divorce case, then you'll be at number maybe 1,010.
Wow.
And that's
so
only within Nairobi.
Together.
And that's within Nairobi. So it's relatively, the numbers are there, but then it's not as bad.
It's not as bad. I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear that. It's hopeful. So in this journey, like, what would you say as trying to find the business opportunities? Because I'm looking at law as the business opportunities. Are there as many business opportunities for an independent lawyer, or how does that look like?
I think there's that element of law being a career of patience, Like when you open your law firm, or like it's like in the next, let's say like it's 3-year-old law firm, you can't compare it to someone who has been in the scene or in the business of law for the past 30 years. So there's that element of it's a career of patience. When you are starting, even when you're older but you're starting, you can't compare 1-year-old or 2-year-old law firm with someone who's been there for even 100, because the law firms have been in Kenya for more than 100 years.
The way there was like Grand Mullah's law firm, for example.
Exactly, they've been there long enough. So those ones, but then I believe there's something for everyone.
There's something for everyone.
You just have to be true to yourself. You have to be like, I'm in the 2nd year or 3rd year of law firm
to trust
business.
The process.
Exactly, I'm trusting the process, and so you can't like want 1,000 clients the way another big law firm who has been in the scene for over 50 years is getting those kind of clients.
Amazing. Okay. And also then I noted you are also in the women rights space. What led you to get into that space?
I think it came about after I think it's after my 4th year as a law student. There's that public interest law. There's an element of public interest law where you volunteer still as a student. So where I volunteered, I got myself in the space of women empowerment and all that, and it stuck.
It stuck with you.
Exactly.
So it's not something about maybe your experience or something you've observed in your environment that triggered you to get into that space.
I think also experience has to do with it, because I went into the deep end at that 4th year. You're still young, you're still is it naive? You haven't you've been protected a little bit, and then you go into the sexual offenses, because I went to volunteer in the sexual offenses space. And
you witnessed a lot of it.
And like this is needed, this kind of empowerment, this kind of message need to get out there, and people need to be empowered. And then
what are some of the adversities that women face through that maybe you saw and witnessed during that time that you that pulled you out, the lawyer in you to fight for this?
Yeah. It was in the informal settlement. You realize that the experiences of women in informal settlement is quite adverse and maybe cannot compare somehow. The violence, the sexual violence, and then the inability to access, is it justice? You know, like you've maybe been defiled, you are a child, and there are many reasons that leads to that, and those reasons are more in the informal settlements, relatively where the income is not as much. And now this person who has been maybe defiled cannot access justice, because justice is also, it requires some source of income. It requires some element of income. So if you can't afford to the daily needs, maybe that's why you get yourself in the informal settlement, then definitely justice is so much out of your way. And then now it's bolden, it makes the situation worse. Because the more someone is not maybe, the more justice is not served, it emboldens the perpetrators to continue doing that. Yeah. So there was a lot of that element in there.
So you opted to empower people to be able to seek justice.
Yeah, exactly. Through knowledge, through pro bono service, and just letting someone know that maybe this is a process yourself, because there's also the element of lack of knowledge. Something has happened to you, how do you proceed? Where do you go? What do you do? Yeah. So when they at least have a little bit of, when they have knowledge of what to do, even if the money element doesn't meet them at the point of need, at least there'll be some progress. Yeah.
Actually, especially with the existence of organizations that specifically like FIDA maybe, where you can report in case that this and this happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so why do you think there are so many issues like that actually?
It's a lot of factors coming together, an amalgamation of factors, you know. There's the cultural element, or there's the conditioning, or how we bring up people, how we bring up our children. There's the element of resources was a big one, because if there is no money, you become desperate. Not really money, when you don't have the resources or even the knowledge, you can easily be taken advantage of. And then there's the element of no repercussions. That's where the justice comes. When someone finds justice, it's like sometimes it prevents worse from happening. Yeah. So it's a lot of factor in there.
Okay. Yeah. So what has been some of the work that you've actually done now in regards to the communities? Do you work with communities or groups, or how do you work?
Okay, now that is now I'll say the corporate social responsibility part, yeah? Like the last one we did was around elections, because when during electioneering period, there's a lot of, it's a volatile time, and that's where there's a lot of violence, and the people who suffer a lot when it comes to violence, it's the women, especially in the informal settlement, or the women in low income area. So we did a very nice project, or a big project in Naivasha, that was targeting the informal settlement, and it was to just educate, sensitization and all that. And our focus group were the borders, like as a mitigating.
So you spoke to the men, as opposed to the
women. Yeah, there's many ways to kill a cat. So to just make sure there's no violence, and women are not as affected, then we decided to target the border men, and tell them the need for peace and all that, so that in one, and then in that way, then we somehow protect the women from going through that kind of violence.
Actually, I like that, because usually we are always like telling ladies how they should protect themselves, how they should cover themselves, how they should prevent themselves from, but are we speaking to maybe the perpetrators? And even vice versa. Let's say the men are the ones who are abused. Are we also speaking to the ladies? So I love that approach, whereby everyone is being taught about their social responsibility.
Exactly.
Wow. That's an exciting space to get into. So law, tell us about the law for a normal human being every day. How would the law apply to me in my everydayness?
Okay, like let me take you for example. For a normal human being, there's so many things that's like, I'll take for example document. Like when you're getting the business number, I'm sure there was the beneficial. Is it the beneficial or not? You'll need a stamp or a witness, and then they have to be an advocate or a commissioner for oath. Now those are the basics, and then also, even when you want to change your name, that change of name, those are the basic. You'll need a lawyer to do that process, a deed poll and all that, a change of name. If you want to buy land, and that's not the personal, that's the personal level.
Yeah.
If you need to buy land, like in Kenya, it's a must. It has to have, the sale agreement has to be written. When you're dealing with land, you can't do an oral kind of agreement. That whole process, you can't avoid getting a lawyer. Someone to draft that sale agreement, someone to witness it, someone to do the transfer. Yeah. The day-to-day things we do as human beings, you'll definitely need law to some extent. But then there's that element of specialization. Like I've gone the family law way. I specialize mostly in the family law way, meaning I may not have everyone come to me or in their day-to-day works. But then people who experience, like I said, like divorce, it's not everyone will be having a divorce issue, or someone who's going through succession, not everyone. So like when you specialize, then now you have your specific type of people will be coming to you. Yeah.
So when you have a specialty, but at the end of the day, all of us will actually at one point need to engage.
Yeah, you'll need a lawyer. You'll have to interact with the law. You'll have to interact with the law. Even when just walking and you get arrested, exactly. You'll find that you need a lawyer, bail and all that.
That we need a lawyer. Okay, that's very interesting. So now into your personal questions. Did you always want to be a lawyer? Or how did you get here? I think I was politically conscious from a very young age. So definitely I knew I was going to do politics at some point, because I was exposed to a lot of political material at a very, very young age. So, and then there was that element of, good politicians. Lawyers make good politicians. It's debatable, So I was like, definitely I'll also do that law, because I want to be the best in whichever field I am in. And then now women rights and women issues stole my heart. So in the long run, it's a lawyer, it's a politician we're looking at.
But in the very, very long run, not currently.
Have you tried it though?
I've not been in active politics, but I've done the sidelines of, the sidelines of doing projects during elections. So I've been exposed to around that area.
Is it too early to pick a political party yet?
It's too early.
It's too early. I would be asking you what is your affiliation right now.
No, it's too early.
Oh, amazing. So you've enjoyed this career and this journey.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. I think I feel like we have a lot of understanding about the law. Do you think there's anything that we've left behind about the law that we would need to know as common people?
At least know a lawyer or two, just have their contact, because there's the element of you never know. There's something that may happen unpredicted or something, but then it doesn't have to even be the worst. You just have to, it's always advisable to have a lawyer's contact, just anything. I think that's what I have. Exactly. and then the law it's not that bad. It's like we just have to exist, and because we are human beings, we have to be regulated somehow. And because we have to be regulated under those structures, then we need the law. So don't see law as that thing like, no, unless I have to. No, it's not that bad.
Unless you have to. Plus, I actually mentioned earlier, you do not need to break the law to need a lawyer. You could even need them for something as good. But you mentioned something about land. When you're transacting land and everything, if you have the sales agreement, you must have a lawyer there.
I'll say it's a must is mandatory. I'll just deviate from the mandatory. It's good to have a lawyer, because even how do you draft a good sales agreement? You need the legal knowledge to know what clauses to include, so that you don't suffer or burn your hands later on. So that it really seals the loopholes.
But and then in terms of why the processes of why the contracts are so heavy and so detailed. is there a way that they can be summarized like into pages? Because I noticed most of the documentations, many people actually don't read. So yes, you could have a lot of clauses that will affect you badly later, but first it's really complex language, and then also it's detailed.
Yeah, now that's why actually like you need, maybe not must, but that's why you need a lawyer. A lawyer will break it down for you, because maybe you need only a one-page thing, but then that one page you not capture in. What about if the person is to sell you land, sell it to someone else? What happens? What about if you pay 80% of the purchase price, and then you're not able to raise the 20%? What happens to the 80%? When it has to be comprehensive to encompass all those likelihoods or eventualities. So if you condense it, or if you don't get a professional to do it for you, you're likely going to have a document with a lot of loopholes, and that's where problems come in later, a lot of litigation and all that. So it's best you have that comprehensive document and then have your lawyer explain to you, because when you get like a lawyer will explain to you, it wouldn't be that complex, or that
it would be a lot simpler.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much. I feel I know a little bit of some law.
Nice
and
pleasure.
Maybe we should have like a session on law so that we understand better. So beyond politics, lastly, as we come to a close, beyond politics, you're gonna write a book as well?
Sure, I've even authored one.
Oh, you already
that
have?
was a long time ago.
Yeah. Wow, amazing. So you should have brought your book here. So the future, what does it look like for Diana?
For now, I'm focused on growing the Amondi Oyugi Advocates. The future looks like that being a household name, like the law firm that comes to your mind if anything law comes across.
That's what you're seeing. That's what you're foreseeing, being a household name. So talk to the girl in you, your 10-year-old. What would you say to yourself now, looking back? You're an entrepreneur. You're having Diana Advocates. What would you say to yourself at 10?
At 10 years, you've done well. You're going to create, exactly. You're going to create a lot of opportunities for other people. You're going to employ some, you're going to empower some, you're going to impact some in a positive way. You've done
so
well.
Keep going.
Keep going, exactly.
You've heard that from Diana. She's a lawyer, passionate about women's rights, powerful, a lady of few words, but very powerful, impacting lives of women out there and changing the world one person at a time. Indeed, we are also very proud of her, and we are cheering her on. I hope that you have been enjoying this session, Portraits of Hope with Diana, and I hope that you will get her contact and reach out to her, even if you've not broken the law. Thank you once again for joining the Portraits of Hope. I've been your host, Esther Neema.